goal early, kicked the first goal of the game. Max Hall from outside the arcs. Banks that all the way. That is a roost and a half. As for the Tats, Michael Robertson's next door. He's the story at one. I'll check him now to see whether your theory is right. That's just a great tackle. He couldn't get rid of the ball. He had one arm. He kept on running. But the kick, Jack, that is a great kick for not a huge man, but he has launched it.
This is good performances in a row for this man here. See here, highest rated general forwards in the last 6 weeks, Max Hall, sitting up there with some very good names and some teams that are going to be there at the pointy end of this premiership season. And he sits comfortably at number 1 at the moment. Through like that. The other area that StKilda have been able to get back into is centre square bounce. The Swans have had no impact in this second quarter. After kicking 2 goals in the first quarter, they've only won the 1.
It's just been a domination. Plus 12 contested, plus 2 clearance, plus 9 inside 50s. They're lucky the Swans are still in this game. They've kicked 3 goals for. They could have easily belted on 6 or 7 goals.
So Heaney out of the middle with a long ball. It's going to travel all the way to... And he's going to just walk it over. So it's now 10 points with the minimal time to go, 3 or 4 seconds. Well, what a fascinating first half, and we'll have full analysis from Jack Rewald at halftime. The best in the business. So there you have it. StKilda, they lead 7-4, 46 to Sydney, 5-6, 36 with Max Hall with 2, Steele, Owens, Sinclair, Moxall and Sharman. The goal kickers, there's Captain Jack asking a few questions of the umpire, but a terrific second quarter after they worked so hard in the first StKilda. They put the pressure on, and deservedly they lead by 10 on these scoreboards. So as we momentarily leave Marvel, of course, on the couch, bigger and better this week.
Look who's back on the couch.
I don't think there's any chance of me
Marvel Stadium half-time. The Swans kicked 4 goals in a row in the opening term, take a lead of 9 points at quarter-time. And then the Saints responded with 5 in a row of their own. And it's 46-36 with a half to play in front of a good crowd here at Marvel Stadium with the roof shut. What have you made it so far? Jared, what's your highlight out of it so far? Well, it was pretty clear that the Saints were getting dominated in that first quarter by not being able to get the ball away from clearance, Wayne, but they neutralised that in the second quarter. They ramped up and kept their pressure going. They got to work on the ground. They actually totally dominated the Swans in the contested ball on the ground, and then they played it in their front half, and their scores from turnover, it was the major factor that put them in front. You can just see there, for the quarter, they were plus 12, plus 9 for the match, but it was really just neutralising Sydney's dominance in the first quarter from takeaway, from clearance, to set up that front half game for them. But you don't win it unless you win the contest, and on the deck they were absolutely dominant. Sydney, a couple of their stars went missing.
And a few errors as well, which really cost the Swans.
Yeah, the pressure was absolutely superb, and the contested ball, most of that was on the deck. They all ended up in the green for StKilda, so it's going to be a long way back here for the Swans. And there's another win beckoning here for the Saints. Back down to you, Sarah.
Thanks, guys. The intensity of StKilda is really noticeable at ground level. That pressure rating up over 200. It is their 8th best opening half in the last 6 years. So they've brought the heat, Jack.
They certainly have. And we spoke to Ross Lyon pre-game, and he said he wanted to see spirit. And what did spirit look like? It looked exactly like the tackle pressure here. And it's been led by their captain, Jack Steele, who's had 7. It's been infectious and resulted in scores as well. The first game of Max Heath, tallest player on the StKilda list at 204 centimetres. Well, he's had 5 tackles as well. So everyone is buying into this tackle pressure game, which is what Ross wanted to see. It's the backbone of success for the Ross Lyon eras that we've seen previously, is that they are a great pressure side, and they have turned up today, and caught the Swans under guard. They have actually thrown something at them that I don't think Sydney were expecting.
It'll be something Dean Cox no doubt will be mentioning at this half-time break. What about Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller's game? 15 disposals, 551 metres gained, already throwing a couple of contested marks. He is an exhilarating footballer to watch.
Yeah, isn't he? You get the good and the bad sometimes with Nasiah. He misses the easy kicks, but he makes the hard look so simple. One thing he does do is he gets involved once, and you can see here in this play here, he's got amazing leg speed, but he also then remains on the same wave of the ball and actually gets involved again. And the way we summed up with Ross pre-game was, where was he going to play? And he said, I have to play wherever he wants, and his stats say that. He's had 4 rebound 50s, he's had 4 inside 50s, he's been at centre bounce, he's been involved in 3 scores so far from a StKilda point of view, but he just gives them something different. And this is something that James Jordan hasn't tagged before. This player that just has this exhilarating speed to all of a sudden put 4 or 5 metres into you very quickly, and you can't catch up.
Lee Montagna said on First Crack last week, it's the biggest contract since Plugger at Moorabbin, and it is hard to argue with that. They need to sign him up and not let him go home.
Oh, well, they do. They've obviously into a few other players. Tom McConey continues to come up as a StKilda prospect going forward, but at the moment, their number one talent is Isaiah Wanganeen-Milera, and he has been able to break the James Jordan tag tonight, so he throws something back at the Sydney Swans, and maybe they do need to change what that looks like in this second half.
Brody Grundy is the highest rated player on the ground. How are you seeing his involvement today?
Yeah, look, he's brought both of the StKilda ruckmen into the trenches where Brody plays really good football. He's been able to close the space and stop Rowan Marshall from jumping. His aerial stuff when he gets around the ground is second to none as a ruckman. They need more of it in this second half. Sydney, they need to start to dominate. I would love to see Brody Grundy push hard forward. He's been challenged by both of the StKilda rucks forward and actually had to get back and held his own in his own D50, turn the tables a little bit and get involved in a little bit more ball centre forward and become a weapon for Sydney ahead of the ball.
Let's head to Fox Footy HQ where David Zeta is standing by with all the latest news. The game earlier today at the MCG and a bit of fallout from Melbourne's win over the Kangaroos.
Yeah, there was indeed, Jonesy and Jack. So the D's getting a 36-point win, so a marked turnaround from that clash earlier this season where the Roos stormed home and really heaped the pain on the D's. But this time it was the D's getting the win, their 6th of the season. Now, this handshake here with Tristan Xerri, we'll a bit more on that in a moment. So Jake Melksham booted 5 goals for the week before. He is kicking goals for fun at the moment. He is going unbelievably well and is still uncontracted for next season and beyond. So watch this space on that one. There was an incident in this game that is going to cause some MRO fallout you would expect, and that involves Tristan Xerri and Tom Sparrow. So there was an incident in the 4th quarter where Tristan Xerri was a forearm to the head of Tom Sparrow. It saw him concussed almost immediately and taken out. So he had to be taken from the ground on a stretcher. If it's careless, because I doubt it's intentional, if it's careless, it's a potential 3+ match ban for Tristan Xerri. So Max Gawn insists there was no ill will after the siren. He has plenty of respect for him as a competitor, but it was quite a brutal incident, and the injury clearly to Sparrow was significant. So potentially 3 games on the sidelines for Tristan Xerri as part of the fallout from that loss.
What about the Bombers, Zeeks? The injury crisis just gets worse by the minute.
Yeah, so Nick Martin has suffered an ACL injury. That was confirmed today, a short time ago, by the Bombers. So he is going to miss the rest of this season and a large chunk of next season as well. The 5th long-term injury of the year for them. Will Setterfield has a Liz Frank injury in his right foot. His season is also over. He'll see a surgeon along with Nick Martin in the coming days, and Ben Hobbs is likely to miss next week with a groin injury given a short turnaround. So they cannot take a trick at the moment. They have got just so many players on the sidelines from their best side, and the pain continues to be heaped on Brad Scott and his men. Also a sideline for a player, but probably not for that reason. It was Jack Graham, who will miss the next 4 matches, including today's, after a homophobic slur. He self-reported to the club. The club worked with the Giants and then reported to the AFL. A 4-match ban was handed down to Jack Graham. He says he's very remorseful for his actions, for his word that was used. He called Andrew Dillon personally to apologise, again, a public apology as well. And it does mean that he comes out of the side. Jack Williams comes in today. Jack Graham to miss today. Then against Richmond, Fremantle and Melbourne. Liam Ryan is out with soreness as well. So another late change for the Eagles. So Tom Gross flew over, missed Waffle, so he's not playing any footy this week. So plenty happening in the AFL world, Jonesy. Probably not for the first time on a Sunday afternoon.
Thank you very much for the update. Well, we've got a game on our hands here at Marvel Stadium. Just a 10-point margin. Of course, it's school holidays here in Victoria at the moment. What better way to spend it than having a kick of the footy on the grass here at Marvel Stadium? The NAB Oz Kickers having the time of their lives. Stay with us. Plenty more football coming up on the Sunday Ticket.
All right, folks, there we go. It's half-time here at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda 7-4-46, leading Sydney Swans 5-6-36. Hey, Elsa Anna, Frozen Disneyland Hong Kong. How you going? Welcome in, everybody. All right, we're not too far away from the second half here at Marvel Stadium, where it's St Kilda by 10 points. I tell you what, Sydney Swans jumped out in that opening term, didn't they? Got out to about 21-point lead. But after that, St Kilda certainly put the pedal to the metal, worked their way back into it. Of course, Sydney Swans could only manage 3 behinds in that second term. St Kilda putting on 3 goals for, plenty of opportunity for the Saints. Let's go and have a look at some of the goal scorers in the game thus far. And, of course, for St Kilda, Jake Lloyd's got 2. Hayden McLean's got 1. For the Sydney Swans, I should say. Jake Lloyd with 2. Hayden McLean. Isaac Heaney with 1. Jack Butler with 1. And for the Saints, Max Hall has a couple for them. Jack Steele Sinclair, Cooper Sharman, Mitch Owens are the other single goal scorers there for the Sainters. All right, let's go and have a look at the ball magnets. We'll see what's happening. Of course, for St Kilda, tops the table, Marcus Winhager and Jack Steele both with 16 touches. Very good. 8 and 7 kicks for both of those players. Wanganeen Millerer, you expect him to have a fantastic game for the Saints. He's a star for St Kilda. He's on 15 with a couple clearances. Jack Sinclair on 13 with 1 goal, 1. Top 4 all coming from the Saints. The next handful from Sydney, of course, Angus Sheldrick with 13, Callum Mills 12. Albert, how you going? The SS looking rather awful right now. What's the SS? Oh, the Sydney Swans, yeah, a little bit dismal. They started off all right, but didn't get back into it. St Kilda really work their way back into the game nicely. Brodie Grundy, tell you what, he's a star, isn't he, for Sydney? He's in, career best form. A lot I would say as well. I tell you what, he gives it his all every time he's out there. 10 touches, 23 hitouts, 5 clearances for the big Grundy. He just needs to slot a goal or two, and he'll be just dancing around like Fred Astaire out on the ground. I tell you what. Bradley Hill with 9, Max Hall with 9, 2 kicks, 2 goals for him. Let's roll on down, see where some of these other stars for Sydney. We can probably see why Sydney are dropping the ball a little bit. Chad Warner, well, he's only on the 7. He started off slow again today. He was better last week, but today, just the 7 touches. 4 kicks, Albert. That is it. That's all he's had. 4 kicks, 3 handballs. Good to hear you're doing great. All the Saints are doing great. That is for sure. All right, let's roll on down and see where a couple more of these players are. Sam Wicks on 5 touches there. Who else we got down there we can have a bit of a gander at? There we go. All right, there is your player stats. Hey, let's have a look at the team stats. Well, St Kilda on top there. They're plus 12 at half time. Disposal count. Inside 50s, both teams getting plenty of it. 28 inside 50s to the Saints, 11 scoring shots. The Sydney not too far behind on 25, also 11 scoring shots. Equal scoring shots up until half time, nearly equal on the inside 50s. Disposal efficiency, well, look at that. Spot on, 72-2 for both teams. Efficiency inside 50. Saints going all right at 46. A little bit low for the Sydney Swans, but they'll work their way back into it. It looks like the boys having a field day with the whistle. Maybe they got a brand new whistle out. 15-14, 29 free kicks already in the game. Well, there you go. Hit out Sydney, though, on top, 28-11. They're plus 17. Clearances all tied up. Sydney plus 2 out of the centre with their good midfield. Saints plus 2 around the stoppages. Contested possessions, St Kilda, well, they're plus 13. Normally it's Sydney in the contested. Uncontested, only 1 the difference there, so that's all right. Sydney grabbing the ball a little bit better around the ground. Both teams, though, however, inside 50, 6 apiece for marks inside 50. Both teams having their opportunity. Want to just keep on that roll, both teams. Of course, we're playing at Marvel Stadium here, under the roof, no wind, so it's always perfect conditions inside Marvel Stadium. Tackles, 44 to the Saints. That's really good, going well above season average. Of course, Sydney, normally the pressure side, 28. That's really low for Sydney. They need to get on their bike and start pedaling a bit harder in that way. I tell you what, you got to love this, and I'm sure the coach will be loving this. 14 inside 50 tackles for St Kilda, already at 40% above season average, and that's only up until half time. Sydney 6, going on season average, but they really need to lift their pressure, Sydney, in this game if they want to get up over the Saints. That's super duper low from Sydney, who we know are as a super contested pressure team. All right, that's enough of me. Hey, let's get back down to the ground. Don't forget, put your vote in. We've got St Kilda at 75% so far, winning the poll in the live chat. But we're going to head back down to the ground of the commentators. They'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. We're only a minute away. It's the Saints by 10 points.
In that quarter in particular, it was points to the Saints.
And you saw there in the huddle, Hunter Clark is going to be activated as sub in this second half, with Dan Butler obviously not continuing. And a little bit quiet from Chad Warner this afternoon.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the call a few minutes ago, and he's only had 7 possessions. He had 3 in that term, and really hasn't had any impact whatsoever on the scoreboard in the second term. He's a bloke with very high standards, and he'll be very confident in his own right that he can get himself back into the game. But he's skimming the lows at the present time. He's only hasn't had a score involvement at this stage. When the Swans are flying, he's generally one of the reasons they are.
7 disposals, 4 kicks, 3 handballs for Chad Warner.
Look at Errol Goulden. He's had the ball enough. He's had 20 possessions. He's had 12 possessions. Only had 6 kicks, and he's only running at 50% of those 6 kicks. He hasn't had a score involvement. He's only kicked the ball inside forward 50 on one occasion, which doesn't surprise because the ball lived in the back half for Sydney in that particular term. So they're going to get back to their game, and it's, you know, very much, even through this winning run, hasn't been based on ball movement, it's been based on clearance. So they lost their dominance with the clearance in that term.
The Swans by 9 at quarter time, StKilda by 10 at half time. What a big hour ahead for the Swans as they look towards the finals. They need to win today. Grundy with the big fist. That's going to progress about 30 metres. Then the hurried kick from Jordan. Slews off the side of the boot. Wilkie, little paddle to the advantage of Windhager, who skies it back towards the wing. Grabbed by Cunningham. Holding the football. Advantage played, so the Saints lightning quick here as Higgins kicks to the top of the square. Sharman came in late from the back. Wanganeen Miller, can he pick it up? Wood can. 150th game. Wobbly one towards the square. McCartan under pressure. Heath was there and eventually out.
Well, the tag has been dropped. It looks like Callum Mills is the one going to Isaiah Wanganeen Miller now.
Yeah, I was just watching that last foray in, and Mills is more of a ball watcher, so this is a real opportunity for Wanganeen Miller.
Scooting around, hoping for the palm down here. Grundy took it out of the air, looped a handball wide. Heaney looked at Wood. Wood went and got it, caught, got the kick away. It'll be paid. Wanganeen Miller, one of the flyers. Mills off the deck to McCartan to Grundy. Shows a bit of dexterity, webbed his way through a few. Wilkie stands under it and contact to Wilkie.
He's called front on contact. I'm not sure he made any though.
Windhager can set it up again for the Saints. Too far out to go for it.
17 disposals for Windhager.
Very good.
See the probing around here, trying to find a short.
He's got to go bypass Grundy. He's the one lurking, sitting there waiting for the long ball.
Hill runs sideways.
Did well.
And eventually switches it out. Taru, entry towards the pocket, 2 on 2. Higgins waits, Heath at the front. Owens tries to charge through them all. Jarman in limited room. And then Mills, last man standing. The kick and dump straight to Hill, 52 metres out. Plays on quickly on his own Windhager.
A real example of the pressure the Swans are under when the skipper gets it. He wasn't under enormous heat, just psychological heat, just kicks it straight back to the Saints.
So Windhager doesn't get complete purchase on it towards the congestion. There's a whistle and it's a free kick, StKilda.
They're going like winners right now, Jack. The Saints, they've picked up where they left off.
We're going to have a big Moose chance.
So it's going to be big Max Heath, 204 centimetres and out push that one. And the umpire didn't miss it. So it's taken 5 years to work his way into the squad. He would have dreamed of this moment for a long, long time. Big, deep breath, looking for his first goal in AFL from about 30 metres out. He's done it. He's done it. The Rialto on legs has kicked his first.
You can hear the cries of Moose rattling around Marvel Stadium. He's 100% on foot in his career. First kick, first goal. He might have had 3 handballs. He's had 5 tackles today, which has been exceptional. But that's the referred pressure you're talking about, Jared Early. Callum Mills had the opportunity just to think that through a little bit more, but as is the pressure that has been building over this first half, the free kick clearly there. The Swans have been rushed into decision making. The Saints have set up behind the ball perfectly. It's been Brad Hill. It's been Cal Wilkie. And this man here reaps the rewards of his first game of AFL football since being picked up in the 2021 mid-season draft. And doesn't it mean a lot to him and his teammates?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. I thought you were going to say it's 5 years, taken them 5 years to pay a push in the back. You wouldn't have been wrong either. But finally they got one. The Moose is on the end of it.
Yeah, still in year 12 at Xavier when they put him on the list. The Saints, great story, and it was a great game. Saints threatening to go forward again. Marshall kick off hands. Hunter Clark, the sub activated. Gave it up to Hasty. Heads long over the head of Heath, and well, Lizard gets back.
Brilliantly read, but this is going to be a massive turnaround if the Swans can get their noses back in front here, because The Saints are sniffing a big win, and they're running like winners. Early days, lots of time to go, but Jesus, something has to turn around.
Off hands, Hill providing the spark. Fumbled by Higgins, grabbed by Hall, he's kicked a couple already. Handball on the ground, grabbed by Mills. They backtrack, Hamlin was involved in this chain. Now Gordon, a lot of pressure. Higgins forcing him in a corner and had to be a real accurate one. Blakey took the mark and got a little bit of a clip across the chops for good measure.
Was held up again here, though, slow.
Yep. Ball movement's been poor from Sydney since quarter time, and Gordon again getting possessions in the back 50.
Lions go up and there's that back fist by Caminiti to get it out. So they led by 21 points, the Swans, and they're now down by 16. They began the day 10th, 7 wins, 9 losses. Talked about it a bit. And if they can finish the season winning 8 in a row, they'll make finals. It'll get them 14 wins and 13 made up last year. And they're a long way from winning this one at the moment. Goulden spanks it long. McLean's back against the grain. Did well to put his heart and soul into it. Hayward outside of the boot. That'll work. Lloyd. He really had to motor to get there.
It was an unusual kick as a pass, but it was very effective. But it was a ground ball one on the wing, stroke half forward flank that set this one up. And there's Hayward, very clever player. Hasn't really had much of a chance to be involved because the ball hasn't been down there since quarter time. Jake Lloyd has become a goal kicker.
From defender, pinch hitting forward, game 265 from their all-time greats climbing up the game's played list. This for his third of the afternoon, squeaked it home. Just what they needed, the Swans.
There's fortuitous transition here for the Sydney Swans. But they needed to make something, and sometimes momentum just happens. It was Hayden McLean who came back with the flight here, not knowing what was coming. He was the aerial contest that allowed Hayward to get the front and centre or to get the ground ball, and then the creativity and the great vision from Hayward as well. This is the opportunity sometimes where you see players blaze away, but he knew, even with the bandaged face, that he could have a little bit of a look out the right-hand side there and saw Jake Lloyd, who's coming down from sort of a wing position to be defence.
Yep.
And that first line of defence to prevent StKilda coming out from out the other side, but he saw him out the corner of his eye and a great kick there, check side. Very talented finish.
First time the Swans have actually scored from a ball starting in defence, which is unusual for them. First time for the game.
5 goals over the last 2 weeks for Jake Lloyd. Free kick out of the middle. Warner gets onto it quickly. Sheldrick, Stocker was late. Sheldrick gets the free kick. Swans press again. No lead to speak of at the moment. So he goes long with the left boot, a high one. Hayward.
Well, we know this man's a very good player above his head. Plays sort of taller than his actual stature. There's the free kick to Sheldrick. Back-to-back inside 50s here. Hayward actually went to block for Brodie Grundy to create a mismatch, and he found himself with no opponent.
Yeah, it was actually, he didn't flush at Sheldrick. It pulled up about 10 metres short, and Hayward was the first one to pick up on the flight of the ball.
Signed up until 2029 as Will Hayward comes in. And that's why. Very clean in set shots. And it's back to 4 points pretty quickly.
Well, a couple against the flow of play by Sydney. Just a quick reminder to StKilda that this 4 points isn't going to happen, if it happens at all. But you can see with the spin through the air, Grundy, he's 15 metres from where he was expecting that ball to be. And Hayward picked up the flight early off the boot. Was unmanned, really, took an uncontested mark.
This is what the Swans did in the first quarter when they dominated StKilda. They were able to put multiple goals on in a very small period of time. You can see here, Hayward actually came back, put that block onto Brodie Grundy, and then created the space for himself.
Happens a lot of money in the footy. The momentum was huge, and Garcia gets the Saints out the front, goes long, it's through, all the way. 30 seconds. Training drill stuff.
With the Achilles heel in the first quarter, they were smacked at centre bounce. Brian Marshall has gone to work since then. And an excellent handball. Did not panic here. Knew that if he kicked it forward as 6v6, he had a 1v none with space in front of him. It was Hugo Garcia. He got it to him, and Garcia just took off. Wanganedmara looking to get involved too. Involved at centre bounce. He's there for the handball. The young left footer just put his head down. Took the shot from 60 metres.
Great goal.
And it curled in nicely. I think Sharma was on the lead there, potentially going back. What a finish on the centre bounce. What a response after giving up back-to-back goals.
So they stem the flow, 10 points, StKilda lead. Grundy down. Here he is again. Garcia almost hunted down. He was hunted down, ran for too far.
Well, can't bounce the ball as you're being tackled. That will always be picked straight away as holding the ball, but he just gives them a different dynamic. You go back 2 months ago, Hugo Garcia was subbed out in the second quarter in a game, and people were asking questions. He's given them something here.
So Jordan, true centre wing, probing, ball, asking a few questions. Hayward out the back, tries to pat it to Rowbottom. Steele was the first one there in the foot race. Met solidly. The umpire crosses himself.
It's a clever tackle by Jordan, almost as if Garcia didn't feel that he had his jumper, so decided to have a bounce. There's a bloke hanging on him. Windhager, dangerous spot to kick to. Wicks got there with a fist, knocked it down. Shelbrick, Errol Gordon, what's Errol going to do? On his wrong side, had to give it to Roberts, to Lloyd. Floats it back. And Windhager made it his own, brilliant stuff there. Happy to take the share and have the heat.
Garcia in the hands of the doctors on the sidelines right now.
Thanks, Sarah. We'll keep an eye on that. Blakey comes down to pick their pockets to McLean. Just outside the arc, centering. Campbell. Owens! Big fly. Nice grab.
Boss would like to see that. Offensive players getting back to help out defensively, and it sets up this offensive push here.
Sinclair, Boxall, Hill, over the top. First involvement for Clark. Can he pick up the pill? He's got Lloyd all over him. He hatches over the top. Ball it up.
You can just see one possession in that chain hits the ground and puts all the pressure. This is where Garcia got injured. We think maybe his wrist got stuck underneath there from the tackle.
Clark tried to get it through the traffic, but McInerney picked it off. Gave it to Campbell, who kicks it too wide. So it'll be coming back. Caminiti on a nice edge right now. I'll keep an eye with Sarah Jones on the bench. They're already down a man with Butler off with a dislocated elbow, the Saints.
Hill down the corridor to Clark. Clark with Hasty ambling by. Handball finds Steele. Steele with a real bullet over the back. Henry was the last man there and through for a behind.
This is where the Saints have been able to expose the Swans today. It's been the handball game. That one even there got touched fingers and still just breaking the game apart. A really critical handball. They've missed some, but they've hit some, and as soon as they hit them, they are breaking the Swans apart.
Yeah, the Lizard sat that in the air. The Lizard hasn't slithered so far tonight. He had to mop up his mess there, wide to Weeks. So he's not taking them on from defence, Blakey. Francis gets up. Can't mark it. Wilkie crumbs it. Loops the handball wide. Windhager back to Wilkie. Short pass to Hall. Now, has he got this kick in him? He can blast one. He heads long. Goal square. Sharman up. Henry. Big tackle by Cunningham. Didn't face plant him. Roberts out wide. Hayward. One-on-one. Stocker. Hayward. He's locked to shoe. Hayward. One sock, one shoe. Got a kick away. High towards the wing. Off hands. Hill there to try and lend a hand. Laser tackle. Ball knocked out. Two Saints get in each other's way. Caminiti and Wilkie work out in the end. Wilkie, Caminiti. Caminiti hit the pause button, goes long. McCartan, little nudge. Free kick Saints. Wood.
This is the real test for the Saints now. Can they keep this momentum going in the third as Clark kicks it to the top of the square? They've got some numbers here. Off hands. Marshall ambles after it. Got the handball away. Owens, he was grabbed. He got rid of it. Heaney coughed it up. Gave it to Hasty from 40 out. Kicked the belly of the football and registered a behind.
Good news for the Saints. Hugo Garcia has tested out that wrist on the sidelines with some handball drills, a couple of kicks, and he looks fine, about to come back on.
Thanks, Sarah Jones downstairs.
This game being played in the front half of the Saints. A domination at the moment. The Swans can't get it across halfway. St Kilda just not hurting them on the scoreboard.
Grundy and Heath. 4-pack in the end. The two tie up, and Grundy, with the experience, wins the free kick against the debutant again.
Well, he was let go a grapple in the first quarter, and I think he thinks that's the rules. He does go the immediate grapple.
It's like every ruck contest these days, Jared.
Yeah.
Mills zigs and zags and goes short to Warner. He's trying to get himself more involved in the third term.
More handball received from the back half of the Swans required at the moment. This needs to have a runner. Here's the Lizard.
McInerney, now the Lizard ran past. Doesn't handball to him. Short, Heaney, not the required. So he's forced to kick inside 50 hurriedly, and Hill read it too well.
On the corridor steal.
Once again, the ball movement of Sydney just breaking down. Not a lot of flow. You'd love to see some more handball involvement rather than just the chip kick.
And Carlton got down front. Makes the mark on Sharman. McInerney in the corridor. He's got Wicks on the run by. He ignored him. It's to Mills. And I'm not sure who he was going for, but he gave it to Wilkie of all people. And now the Saints on the rebound can go.
Windhager. Wanganeen Millerer. Back to Windhager. Chip to centre half forward. Lace out Owens. He gets up like a jack in a box. He knows the urgency. Goes towards the pocket. Sharman.
What a great kick inside 50. Mitch Owens. I knew that Cooper Sharman, he's an aerial specialist. Nearly as good as any in getting up and actually grabbing the ball above his head in a contest. He put it on the top of Nick Blakey's head in exactly the right spot. Popped it up perfectly, gave him a run and a jump. He's always balanced in the air, Cooper Sharman.
Real breakout at the end of last year. It's continued with that momentum in 2025. Sharman keeps it low, but it's straight. And it's out to 18 points for the Saints.
Well, it's the same issue for Sydney and for St Kilda. Sydney under not so much heat, turning the ball over. Can't keep the ball inside their front half, and then the Saints, when they get hold of it, their kicking and disposal efficiency has been so much higher. And once again, they just are happy to kick it to this bloke in a one-on-one. In fact, this was even a one-on-two. They just know he's got such a big leap, whether it's from the kick out or going inside forward 50. That's knowing your teammate's strengths and backing him in. And he kicked another dart.
It's the biggest margin of the game. The Saints, 18 points. Momentum changes. The Swans kicked 4 goals. Saints responded with 6 of their own. Swans then kicked 2 to start this term, and the Saints have responded with 2 of their own. And the debutant, Max Heath, got a palm, big piece of that, and he gets his own crumb here. And clears it nicely. Sharman couldn't fly. Boxall couldn't pick it. Gets it now. Almost worked to his favour, did. Feeds it wide to Wood. This is within his wheelhouse. He launches. Touched on the line.
Yeah, great touch in the end.
And the difference has been turnover. Scores from turnover as well. The Saints smashing Sydney at the moment. 6 goals, 2 from turnover, St Kilda.
Sydney have deployed their sub. Riley Bice is on, and Aaron Francis is subbed off tactical.
Sarah Jones, thank you. The first involvement from Bice kicking the ball in there as it's taken out by Campbell.
That's what Riley Bice does, though, is exactly what the Swans need at the moment. They need a user who can plot themselves in the middle part of the ground, right up the corridor, and actually take some risks through there. Blakey hasn't done it today already, so they need to just encourage that.
Blackburn got back that time. McLean tried to fist it to Warner. Warner earned himself a free kick for high contact anyway. Warner, 10 touches for the match so far. So Warner, kick towards forward 50, floating across the front. Stocker
Once again, now that's an entry from behind the centre part of the ground. They need to build up more momentum, whether that be through kicks, marks, and handballs to actually then attack.
The loose spin-off ball they can chew there, straight to Goulden. Best kick in the Sydney Swans team. Swans McInerney. He goes to Roberts, who can kick a ball as well. Chips it to Lloyd. And their major goal contributor so far. Doesn't believe he's got this distance in him. Goes to the pocket to Sheldrick. And this now is huge. Crowd settles. Sheldrick settles their pick 18 for 2021. It's his 4th season on the list. Swans let Luke Parker go, hoping Sheldrick will grow and become that player. He gets a moment here. We get the momentum back the Swans' way. And he's got it. Equal to the occasion. Angus Sheldrick.
Well, he hasn't kicked a lot of goals in his career, but that was a beautiful kick. When you compare that to the last entry that ended up with Hayward, that is just out of the screws. So this time, Jack, they did what you said. They built the ball up rather than just trying to slam it in. And Jake Lloyd waiting for the final entry to give him a shot from the 40-45 mark is much better, much more controlled. And, well, good work by the Saints defender there. He gripped about 4 metres, wasn't called back.
So this score coming from forward turnover. But at the moment, the Swans need to take more possession through basically the centre square. So that's on Heaney and Warner, Jordan, Rowbottom, all through the middle part of the ground. They need to get more touches in the mid part of the ground then to help the forwards and help the entries.
The secondary ball up. Garcia wrapped up. Heath and Grundy down to Warner. The couple to beat. Scampers away from them. Asks a few questions inside 50. Oh, it's going to be a holding free kick, and it's going to Buller.
It was there. The umpire was in the perfect position to see the left arm of Caminiti grab a fistful of jumper here on Buller. You can see clearly umpire right of screen there to seize that. As soon as you see a jumper tug at all, they will play a free kick. Caminiti's given away a couple of those tonight. This man's kicked his first goal of his career. This is an important one.
Yeah, you can understand Caminiti's frustration. I mean, both have got Indian arm locks on each other, and yet because one's got a little bit of jumper, he gets pinged.
He's looking for his 3rd ever career goal at such an important moment. And he has risen to the occasion and put it through the middle. It's back to 7 points, Saints lead.
That is a great goal. There's no question about the young talent. He's just been nurtured in the reserves competition for a period of time, and you can see both guys have got a hold of each other. I know it's a telltale, they get coached that way, the jumper comes out, but just seems bizarre when both players have got hold of each other.
The jumper's the
And one's got a, yeah, well that's the telltale, but they've both got hold of each other. So because someone's got hold of a jumper, what does that matter? Other than that's an umpire's cue.
Well, they've been searching for a key forward for a long period of time. I can see why the umpire has paid that, but...
And I can see why Caminiti's frustrated, but you can't give the umpire the cue they're looking for. That's the bottom line.
Heath, debutant back in the middle against Grundy. That's a throw. On the bottom. Straight down the Staples. Buller front spot. Wilkie doing what Wilkie's been doing the whole time he's been with the Saints.
He's got to be up again for All-Australian selection potentially.
It's a fantastic mark and then over clubs it. Hoping for Windhager. Too high.
Windhager kind of concedes that he jumped at the wrong time, a little too early, and it wasn't Wilkie's fault.
He's been dominant this term, Windhager.
He's been dominant all day.
He's had a great day.
So interesting moments. Grundy down there, Rowbottom smothered. Wanganeen Miller couldn't break away. Hall with a little volleyball tap, picked up by Warner. Round the body off a step, draws a crowd. They could have raffled at the Saints. Hurried ball off a step, McInerney. It's an up and under. Wilkie Marcher not the required. They could ping him. Out he goes to Sinclair, and Wood. They've kept their composure there, the Saints, and they're out.
Just needs to take a breath here, Mason Wood. You can see hardly anyone ahead of him here. Allow the play to unfold.
Much better 5 or 6 minutes here from Sydney, though, getting some time inside their front half.
Taru edged down to that contest. Umpire let it roll. And the roll past Taru. Lloyd got it up. Sheldrick breaks a tackle. Runs through a couple. Gets his moment. Across the face. And was that marked on the line by Jordan? Or is it a behind? Big call this.
Umpire signalled that it went through. No doubt we've got a score review here.
Jordan's been sent forward. He's taken off that Manganini tag. We've got to check it. So the whole of the ball has to be over the whole of the line, and you don't bobble it. And it has to be definitive to overturn the call. And so it's the back of the padding. The padding's thicker than the line.
Look at this angle. We can see that Sydney player takes control of the ball before it crosses.
It's been paid.
Decision on the scoreboard.
So it might have kind of been over the line, but not past the back of the padding. Because the fatness of the padding counts when you go for the side vision. Had we been looking from above, it might not have been the same decision. Jordan.
Let's see what he's got in his repertoire here.
Every game since joining the Swans at the start of last season, game 108 to make it a 1-point game. Missed. Maybe for the guys. They're here for this one. Let's have a look at this dart. Whether he goes the dart, whether he goes the long option. He's got the full repertoire.
Very entertaining, the number 7 for the Saints. And he's just going to massage it to the pocket.
10 on the 1-2.
Steele.
Get there. Good guarding by Sydney.
So Steele to the congestion. Grundy was there, Malikan in the front spot, a couple of steps ahead of him, and takes the mark. So a point or a goal in it with 3 minutes left in this third term. Campbell, Lloyd.
Taking it all the way to the other side of the ground and in a similar position. This is the kick they need to find. Gordon needs to find another little short 45 here.
So Gouldon, it's short, and it's a 50-50. The towering Heath was there. Hall, Sinclair, Higgins had to be quick. Got it to Hall, back to Heath. Through the middle. Had Garcia running laterally with him. Gave it instead to McRae. His kick set up for Owens. Owens thinks about it. Takes on his man. Beats him. Goes for goal. And kicks it. The Saints stem the flow. And it's back to 2 goals. Owens kicks his second.
Well, it's a story of the turnover, but it's also a big story about Heath. On debut, having a massive impact. Saints are in the market, evidently, for a $1.7 million ruckman. They're getting in for 5 bob. And he's doing a good job.
Great finish here by Mitch Owens. Fascinated to see where he ends up as a player. He's been tried as a back, he's been tried as a wing, he's been in the ruck. He's playing forward at the moment. Obviously no Max King, we haven't seen him for a long period of time. Is he the third forward that can potentially go on ball and just give them a little bit of a difference when needed?
So turnovers across that area, though, Jack, they kill you.
From the ball up, clearance is huge again, and Grundy lifting, big bear hug tackle.
Garcia is still bothered by that wrist in the hands of the doctors on the sidelines.
Grundy and Marshall this time. Battle the battle. Hunter Clark wants through that out. Owens. Henry. Court. Hill. On the move with a spear. Heath. Kicked away and will get a ball in. 2:03 left. What's going to happen bench-wise? You can see Dan Butler at the back. With that arm, elbow and a sling. And Garcia looks like he's in a little bit of pain still.
Grundy, a shallow throw in. Clark with the fist. Marshall grabbing a standing tackle. Steele in and under. And that ball going nowhere.
Henry's been quiet today. He's just sitting off the back of this stoppage. No one on him at the moment. This is a chance for him to have an impact in this last 1 minute 50 and this last quarter.
Grundy to Heaney. So often that combination. Bounce out to Warner. Whistle, throw.
Good call by the Saints fans. I heard it from up here.
Noise of affirmation, Jerry.
Oh, the umpire's got hold of it.
So Jack's got it. He's kicked one already. No, he was claiming it, but Henry, it's his ball. And he plays on quickly. Now there's a lead up the corridor. It's cut off by Lloyd. It was for Higgins, but
He can't believe it.
it's nowhere near him in the end. And the ball now in the hands of Roberts, the halfback.
Nice inside kick. Warner made it okay. Row bottom. Likewise to Wixon will throw as well. So the Saints will get a roll of the dice again here.
Yeah, it's a fine line between a tap and a throw. Let's have another look. More like a tap with me, but
Out wide. Nicely delivered. So Steele will get the chance to kick inside 50 after it was taken off him moments ago. And he finds Marshall. Within range. What's the big guy got?
Brody Grundy just zoning off from Marshall there. Just another turnover though. With those fast turnovers, the Saints have brought on, gone forward quickly and been able to take marks inside 50. Sydney, on the other hand, get a fast turnover and just go slowly through the back half. Poor kick, turnover.
Grew up as a forward. Rowan Marshall playing in North Ballarat's forward line. Wasn't drafted first year he was available. He wasn't big enough, or strong enough. He was left on the table. But he rates himself as a key forward. He's missed that to the near side. And just straight through for a behind.
So Warner and Blakey in concert. The defensive 50, they clear the area eventually, and then Grundy grabbed by McRae, Clark and Marshall on the ball up.
If the Coney does end up going to StKilda next year, it'll be fascinating to see what happens to Rowan Marshall. He's a bona fide number one ruck.
Marshall bunts it down. Warner, those quarters, Hunter Clark and out.
there's a question mark on Max Heath as well, who's been linked to other clubs. So it could be a shuffle everywhere.
So closing stages here of the third quarter. That'll be it. Siren. So after it was StKilda by 10 at half-time, they have held that margin and expanded on it. It's now 13 points. And stay with us for the next 30 or 40 minutes as the Swans play for their season. StKilda 11,874 to the Swans 9-7. 61, and after all of the football...
All right, there we go. Three-quarter time here, Marvel Stadium. It's the Saints 11,874 lead the Sydney Swans 9-7, 61. It's 13-point margin here, three-quarter time. The Swans putting on 4 goals, 1 in that third term. StKilda doing a little bit better, 4 goals, 4. As I said, the Sydney Swans were playing for their lives. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the ladder. The Swans there, well, they need to win this game to go to 32 points. Look, they're a long way out. I think, I know everything's mathematically possible, Albert, but you know what? I think the season's over for the Swans, even if they do win this game. But, they'll still want to... hit back hard in his final term and come away with a win if possible to keep their mathematical chances alive as they speak, as they say. But there we go. All right, let's have a look at the goal scorers up until three-quarter time, because we did have 8 goals put on in that third term. Jake Lloyd there for the Swans. He's on 3, top of the table. Jack Butler's got a couple, and then singles to Sheldrick, McLean, Heaney, Hayward. There are your goal scorers for Sydney. And, of course, for the Saints, multiple goal scorers. Cooper Sharman, Mitch Owens, Max Hall, all got 2 goals for the Saints. Jack Steele, Jack Sinclair, Max Heath, Hugo Garcia, Boxall, all single goal scorers there. West Coast in the other game. West Coast 39. Wowee. West Coast lead 39, 6-3, 39 over Port Adelaide. 2-2-14. 2.5 minutes into the second term. I tell you what, that was very unexpected over there in Port Adelaide. Wowee. Win Hager tops the table on the disposal count up until three-quarter time with 25 touches for the Saints. 5 clearances. Jack Still next best on 21. They're the only two in the 20s up until three-quarter time. Nick Blakey the best for Sydney on 19. Callum Mills 18 with Errol Goulden on 18 as well. A couple of their stars, well, Isaac Ennis had 17, just a game. He hasn't really had that impact to rip the game apart. With Chad Warner, Chad needs to do a bit more in this final term. Always, the Swans always seem to leave it up to these two. When these two fire from the get-go, they seem to have a good game, the Swans, but when they're a little bit off song, they do seem to struggle a little bit. Sydney, of course, Bradley Hill on 16 with Mason Wood for the Saints. McRae on 13. Brodie Grundy there always tries his best. 13 touches, 33 hitouts, 5 clearances, 3 tackles. Always doing good, the big man. James Rodbottom there, 10 hitouts as well. All right, who else have we got to have a look at? Cooper Sharman there on 9. Will Hayward on 8 there for the Sydney Swans as we keep on going down. Jack Higgins, a little bit quiet today. Jack Higgins, just 7 touches, 3 kicks, 4 handballs. Max Heath, 7 touches, 10 hit-outs for him with the 3 clearances as well. All right, there we go. We are only moments away. We're going to head back to the commentators because we're only a minute and a half out from the bounce of the ball for the final quarter. Don't forget, I tried doing a couple of games of the NRL, so I've just got that on, and the commentators, I just let that roll over there, so that's going pretty well. It's actually pretty popular, the NRL. I think there's about 57 viewers over there on the other game. Just depends what game, but I thought I'll give it a crack, Albert. I'll give it a crack at both of them. I might as well. I can screencast the other one and use this one to do this one. So the AFL is the only one I sort of have a talk on at the moment. Unless there's no AFL game on, then I can do it a little bit like this as well. So look, it's a good bit of fun. Try and get both of them up and running. Of course, it's getting to that end of the season where the finals are just around the corner, I think, for both codes. So it should be pretty good. We'll try and cover the finals for both codes as well. All right, hey, let's head on down. Of course, 56% in the live chat have polled for St Kilda, so it's a pretty tight poll here. You just never know. You like the NRL? I'll give it a go. Yeah, of course, we got to go for Melbourne Storm down here, being the only Melbourne team in it. They're pretty good, the Melbourne Storm, doing pretty. I think they actually sit second on the ladder. I haven't checked the ladder of the NRL yet, but they're doing pretty well. All right, hey, let's head back down to the ground, and they'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the final quarter. The Saints by 13 points. Can they continue? They're looking good so far, or can Sydney have one of their mighty comebacks?
Pivotal to the turnover game, and he's always pivotal to the turnover game, is Cal Wilkie. Multiple All-Australians. We know he's one of the best one-on-one defenders in the competition, but his ability to intercept today, 14. And you look at that compared to the rest of the players that are out there on the field today. He is miles in front. This is a career high today from Cal Wilkie. He's been that impenetrable wall
been unbelievable
behind. He sets them up. He gives them structure. And right now, career best at three-quarter time. He's having one hell of a game.
It's a pretty simple formula for the Swans. It's their best 3 or 4 players, as it's been for the last year and a half, year or two. If they're not firing, the Swans aren't firing, so they need any 3 possessions in that term to come good. Brodie Grundy has been their best player for the last 2 months, just 2 possessions. Warner had a bit more of it in that term, but not much more, just 4 possessions. If they don't start dominating in this term, it's going to be a very big win to the Saints.
So it was the Saints by 10 at halftime, 13 going into the final quarter. Grundy flicks it back to Rowbottom, too clever. Steele pushes forward by hand. Garcia, low trajectory kick, almost cut off, was cut off. And that's going to cause a little bit of a stink here. Young Heath and also the Lizard go at it as McCartan's trying to work out what day it is at the moment.
Well, it was a late call by the umpire, but he did look as if he was taken high in the marking contest, and yeah, a little bit of an ear massage.
And he, like his brother, has had some concussion issues over time.
Yeah,
Tom McCartan. So
it was
I'm
pretty
pretty
sloppy.
cautious with their assessment here.
And first look, I don't think there's anything untoward in terms of the contest. One player coming out with both hands to try and take a chest mark, McCartan coming back. You never want to see a player face down in the turf though, especially if you've got concussion history. And the gash across the face there as well from McCartan.
Sometimes there are accidents in footy, and he had both arms looking for the chest mark, as you said, Jack, so it's probably going to be okay.
Great bit of play from Tom McCartan as the Swans get on with it. Through Blakey, down towards the wing. McLean at the back, little spin was clever, got rid of it. Wood in a foot race, beaten to the punch by Hill. And then the young Viking did a really good job there in the end. Chip along the wing, comes to Owens.
Cautious approach from the Saints here. No McCartan, so Milliken has to fly. Mills the crumb, Windhager the tackler. Call that a kick if you like. Warner just hit the kill switch. Put everyone on hold. Got it towards the wing. Caminiti. Kick off the deck by Lloyd. Hill pursues. McLean pursues him. He overran it. Lloyd sweeps it up. Rowbottom's got Heaney riding shotgun. He says, I'll do it. Leave it to me.
Well, it started with Brodie Grundy on that half back line, then a bit of Rowbottom magic. But it was a turnover that really shouldn't have happened for StKilda, so they let the Swans in. Just a contest there. Grundy gets involved, gets the ball forward. Nice little release. And then Warner, he just really didn't do much with it except kick it up and hope. McLean effectively won that contest, and then just a nice little kick off the ground, set it up.
Yeah, that's the moment Brad Hill got back there. Yeah. It's got to be clean at those moments there. It's one of the most vulnerable positions you can be in, running back to your own goal, having to try and pick up a ground ball, and unfortunately he missed this one here. The Swans made him pay.
Marshall catches it out of the ruck at the recommencement, and then Warner had to be quick. They were bearing down on him. He got away with it. Lloyd on hands and knees tries to pat it to the advantage of his teammates, but Saints have some numbers. Steele backpedals to Windhager. Garcia. Good spotting forward. Owens. Playing with a lot of belief here, the Saints. Hill with a bit of time and space. Kicks to the pocket. 2-on-2. Sharman flies. Couldn't quite. Wicks at the back. Does the mopping up. And then the smother from Sharman. Doing some good things. Roberts handle. Back to Sharman. Then Hall. Hall has put it through. And Sharman, you can just about put half a goal next to his name because he was so prominent in that passage of play. Hall kicks his third. Matches last week's effort. And the Saints lead by 13.
Yeah, brilliant call, Matty. Cooper Sharman take a bow. Aerial contest here. You don't just want to be an aerial player, you want to be an all player. The smother, and then the missed handball here, the pressure, and then the ground ball from Cooper Sharman. In the record books, it'll go down to the third goal to Max Hall. But this is all Cooper Sharman here. He's showing his versatility as a forward. The smother, and then the follow-up again, the handball, clean at ground. So important, such a really important skill to have as a key forward, just not to be a one-dimension player. Forward pressure results in another StKilda goal.
Tom McCartan won't take any further part in the game. The Sydney Swans being really cautious with him, so it's purely precautionary at this point.
Thanks, Sarah. So bad news there for the Swans. So no concussion confirmation yet, so might still be available next week, but at the moment won't be available for the rest of this. And it's a do or die game for the Swans. Need to win this to keep their season alive, or it's all over. Cunningham to Bice. He's the sub that's on with a 1-2 with Blakey. Bice down the spine. McInerney drops what he should have taken. Mops up his own mess. Robot squeeze kick. Is that the required? Jordan. And Bice said it yes. It was 15. And Jordan has become a goal kicker in recent weeks. Not always a tagger.
Yeah, it's a good hit by Rowbottom, but there's been a lot of skill errors by Sydney, particularly in the back 50, that have cost them big time.
Last 4 goals have been goal for goal for goal between these two teams. Seesawing contest. Jordan from just inside the arc. Superb. Edge of the seat stuff at Marvel.
He's been a great pickup as a recruit for Sydney. Under John Longmire, did a great job right throughout last season. And again this year, he's been one of the Swans' more consistent players, albeit through a difficult period.
There's something for leading up with the ball. In the modern game today, a lot of players want to get it out the back. A lot of forwards want to get that damaging space out the back there. But just the small lead up, when someone needs you, whether it's 15 metres, 20 metres, just that little dinky kick, you can be that option. Jordan was there. Just a small lead up.
Interesting at this centre bounce. The ruckmen are on the broadcast side. Have been for the last 2 bounces, but it's a rarity. And normally on the other side, it may well be what you were talking about earlier with Grundy wanting to have his left arm so he can poke it out like that.
Pinballs around the middle, and then Clark finds some isolation. Awful looking kick off the boot, progresses at 40 metres or so, and then it's a free kick to the Swans, advantage paid. Roberts throws his slipper into it. Hayward with the big fist. Felder Buller needs Hayward again. Stocker putting pressure on. Now Campbell. Campbell with some composure towards Lloyd. He pushes it forward looking for Sheldrick, who went without it. And now Winhager spins out of trouble to Hill, to Sinclair, to Wilkie, not the required. So he just forces the handball out in front of him. A lot of pressure on the Saints here at the moment. Free kick goes to the Saints as Campbell went in hard, came off second best. Hill's little chip kick to Winhager.
It's a good point about leading up, though, you made, Jack, because Campbell swung onto his left foot and he didn't have anybody coming at him. And he's such a good kick, he would have hit a target.
Sharman from 14 trying to spoil Grundy, and he did. Grundy not paid the mark inside. Golden, great kick of the ball. Heads to a good spot. And the flyer Stocker made it his own. I'm on their side at the moment. The Saints don't need to do anything crazy to win Hager with some poise.
It's got to be smart here. They don't want to turn over what results in a goal, but also results in momentum going against them.
Winhager on probing ball. Sharman with a bit of air time again. Out the back, Blakey. Uses Wicks, and then Wicks's kick across the face to Bice. So Bice has some room over on the fat side of the ground. He sits it out for Campbell, who hits it hard. True centre wing.
Stagnant forward line.
So Campbell, little toe poke. Bice runs up the field. Oh, really to kick it to, and no leads at the moment. He ignores the Lloyd leads, takes a lot of time, and then spears it to the pocket. Oh, that's a mark or out of bounds. Hayward paid the mark, and as you can tell, the natives are getting restless.
And he's just sitting out the back on his own. He wanted him to kick it to the contest because he knew that he could nudge Wilkie under the ball and protect that back space. Certainly the fans in that pocket thinking it was out on the full.
So Will Hayward, he's kicked the one, he's bandaged up, he's been in the wars. Banana kick. The all-important banana kick puts them within 1 point in the final term.
But it was going to take a special effort by some individuals, and Will Hayward has come to the party. He might have taken that mark inside and landed outside the line. Let's take another look. But he does look the one most likely at the present time. Yep, inside, landed outside.
Riley Vice comes on as the sub. He's already had 7 disposals in the minimal time that he's been on the ball, on the game. He's starting to have an impact as well, that left foot that he uses. Centre forward as well, importantly for Riley Vice. The Swans starting to get more ball through 50 to 70 metres out, which results in deeper entries. Bit of feedback there from Will Hayward to some supporters of the opposition who might have thought it was out on the full. But this is a really good game of footy.
Can the Saints maintain their pressure? They played a very taxing style. It's been all in though. It's been brilliant. But can they keep it going? Wanganeen Malera, the old 1-2 does work. Feeds it further on. Might still work with a handball back by Hall. That's better pressure nowhere. And there's the pressure in response from the Swans.
Yeah, much better pressure. The Saints are away there on a number of occasions. The tackle pressure dragged them down.
Big pack around this ball up. McLean does the ruck work. It's back in there, and McRae go at it again. It's a strange option as your ruck. Owens might put his hand up.
That's exactly what he's done. Clean, got a little paddle to it, and then Clark. And he's been picked for holding it. Took too long.
He had the ball in one arm, and as he actually proved, he could have got rid of it by kicking a bit earlier.
So Roberts has it, called to play on. Long ball, 2-on-2. Caminiti met the fist in the end. Haywood takes it to ground. Boxall is in that pack as well.
Well, Hayward's last quarter last week got the Swans across the line, and at this stage he's looming large again.
Trying to keep their season alive. The Swans down to Haywood, caught, stripped, cooked, holding the ball. Saints fans have loved every second of what their guys have delivered so far. McRae, but can they finish the deal? Taru.
There's a good kick inside here.
Taru's been a little dangerous with his backward kicking today, but that hits Wilkie, and he hits Hill. And he hits the pause button. Now he goes, yet Sinclair short, goes longer. Stocker's looking at half forward, 1-2, take it. He turns, he's got Marshall in the goal square. Marshall lurking, they all fly in the end. Hamling meeting the sandwich, ball up, top of the square.
Well, they're down a tall, down in that back line, Sydney, so it's not a bad option to kick it in there long.
So Marshall and McLean go at it. Spilt a row bottom off a step. Clearing now. Stocker and Heaney go at it. To ground, Wind, Hager won the football. Hill, Sinclair, centering kick again, looking for McRae and others. Blakey, Jordan hacks it out again. Under pressure, the Swans defence here. Out the back it goes. Now they can run. Buller off hands. Sheldrick. And away they go. Campbell loves a run. He's a good kick too. He's had 3 bounces, had 4 bounces. Centering kick. Good spotting. Hayward.
Well, he had about 4 attempts to get Hayward to just make a move, and Hayward was trying to read what he was trying to think, and eventually he just kept on trying to drag the player, which he did. But this was a big ball won by Buller. It was a one-on-one, and there he is. He's sitting there, Hayward, looming large as the match winner for the Swans, as he was last week in the last quarter.
So as the clock ticks towards 11 minutes to go, looking for his third, and a Swans lead. Will Hayward with the moment.
That's a big moment. It is a big moment for Will Hayward. You mentioned he was the hero from last week in the last quarter, but it was this contest here on the halfback flank that was Caminiti versus young Buller. Could not let that ball get behind. All the support for StKilda was in front of Caminiti there. As soon as the ball got out the back, the Swans got on their skates. And you can see, as a forward here, you've just got to keep running back to goal. The 1v none is running down the ground. Just keep running back to goal. Make Cal Wilkie make a decision. The decision comes. And the easy overlap kick goes to Will Haywood, and it goes back to that contest of Jack Fuller on the half-back flank, who created the space to allow the Swans to run.
It's easy to forget that this is the team that won the minor premiership last season, the Sydney Swans. Made the grand final last year. Horrible start to the year. Holding free Sydney, but they've got a better complement of players now, and they are up and running. Wide ball. They've got the lead back. Roberts looks up. It's a spear for the pocket, and they've got the tall timber. Taru, little knock away. It's good. Wilkie, hunted down. Could have been ball. Umpire put the whistle away. Wow. And the boos from the Swans fans ring around Marvel.
I think Alex Taru could have knocked this one over and be having a kick out now. There's another chance for the Swans to score.
So Grundy breathing fire, almost goes himself. He's done it famously before. And then just hacked out by Winhager. Is it going to be good enough? Wicks picks it up from 48. Sends it for home and hits the post.
He was off.
Dare I say it, small things become big things.
Well, the Dynamite Wicks couldn't quite deliver, but he's become a fantastic defender this season, but he can kick goals and hurt you. Wangani Malera, over to you, StKilda. What have you got left? And the side's a long way from where he'd like to be. He takes them all on, runs, chips, Windhager.
Well, it could be a battle between Heaney, who hasn't touched it, and this bloke for the Saints. Which of their A-graders can lift?
Got to stop him from getting the ball.
Sharman might give it back to Wangani Malera. It's kind of lurking out wide. Sharman does give it to him and says, it's over to you. If you want to run, you go. If not, try to hit Steele. And he does. Good kick.
They're lucky because Wangani Malera's coming off the ground now, but I reckon it's time to go back to the tag for Jordan.
So no McCartan. They've been sending it long, knowing they're one tall down. They do send it long. Melican gets there and kills it with a fist. He could have gone for the mark. Safety first, and free kick's been paid for a block. And it's going StKilda's way. That's a huge call. And Marshall. There's the hold. Mills. Marshall milked that nicely. Take what you can get. If they're going to give it to you, you might as well keep going for it. And he is, we mentioned, one that does back himself in. He goes for home. Flyers go up. Big crumb to win. From the ricochet, Wood had a chance. Higgins had a chance. Got it up. Tap through, no. Higgins to make something of it. Roberts bangs it away. Stocker, can he get there? Wilkie got there first. Trying to look for Stocker with a handball. Taken out by Lloyd. 8:33 left, and there's a kick in it.
Now's when you start to look to your benches, start to get your last rotations at the moment. Sinclair and Wangani Malera are sitting on the bench for StKilda. They'd want to get them on pretty soon.
Saints fans, full of voice. Marshall wins it down. Garcia overruns it. Wood over the top. They have to be careful they don't hatch over the top. And a ball up. McRae will be the last to pick himself up. So Grundy goes the big fist towards the boundary. Heaney. Warner was sitting on his backside. Got a handball away, but in the meantime, Heaney was held.
It's big boy time now. The superstar Isaac Heaney. Can he play a role in the closing minutes to Grundy? Had the reach on Wood. Having arguably the best season of his career. Certainly the best year for years. Brodie Grundy backpedals. They have the lead now. The Swans. They can dictate. He launches it. McLean's there in the middle of it. Caminiti with a fist. McRae. Flung out to Heaney, getting some touches now. Roberts. Handball smothered. Ricochet back. Garcia on him. Over him. Got him.
A bit unlucky there, Roberts. The ball sort of bubbled into him, but you could tell the umpire was looking to pay the free kick straight away.
Garcia Stocker. Hill. Switches on. Transfers it.
Spare off the bench here too.
Caminiti. Sinclair.
One man up on the bench. The Saints may impact in this last quarter.
Wilkie.
Where the Swans have really got to work is the ground ball. They've been beaten in that element most of the day, but they're well on top in this last quarter. 13-5.
22nd touch for Wilkie. Windhager. Taru. Short up the corridor. Great piercing kick to Henry. And Cunningham all over it. Play on is the call. Henry flat-footed. Swings it to the other side. Stocker. So keeping's off here at the moment as they work the key.
They just look good, this mark around 50 metres to set themselves up. They don't want to bomb it down there.
Wood, another short one. Marshall.
Big Max is just willing to throw his right around. He's put his hand up. He wants
50.
50.
Oh, it's a big 50. It's a big 50, and this will bring Marshall to point-blank range. Well, sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and this time Marshall will kick the goal to level things up. Edge of your seat stuff, Sunday ticket on Fox, and we're all square.
You can see the way StKilda were building up. They didn't want to bomb it deep. They wanted to make sure they could get a mark from 50 to 70 metres out to set themselves up, gives them a greater chance of scoring. Just constantly probing around the 50-metre arc, trying to find it. And Rowan Marshall, who you'd think would go to the top of the goal square as the ruck, he was the one that actually got out and drew Brodie Grundy out.
Let's find out what happens here.
I think it's McInerney gets into the protected space here.
Do you think that protected space will decide the grand final? Geez, it seems to have fluctuated a bit over the last 4 to 6 weeks.
We've got ourselves a 6-minute game. And a draw's no good for the Swans.
Don't be surprised here if James Jordan goes back to Isaiah Wanganeen-Malera. He's got him on the wing at the moment.
Perfect bounce. Grundy and Marshall. Little flick down towards Heaney. Half held, half driven. Robon plays onto advantage, and he's caught by Sinclair. Bad advantage to take. McRae on the rebound. Sends it long. Heath with the reach from Moose. Couldn't quite get there. Melican. He was hunted. Wicks. Little nudge from Higgins on the kick. All out of play.
He's stepped up the given a push in the back. It was a nudge straight in the back, but a great rebound by the Saints off that half back line. That's great transition of the footy.
Throw in. Marshall and Grundy. Grundy looking for Rowbottom. McRae was in the way. There's a whistle. Free kick StKilda. McRae. So another opportunity. One of the more experienced Saints in this situation, in a close situation. Kicks towards the top of the square. Melican went the fist, no good. Picked up by Steele. Wide at a Windhager. Pushed off the ball. And it's going to... No, it's not going to bounce out. Heath was able to collect it. Back towards Marshall and then off his boot. And through for a behind. And now the Saints in front.
He's a big boy. Big Heath, Big Max. Another Big Max.
5 minutes left. They have the lead. Swans have the ball. And the Lizard has it to McInerney. Little nudge on Wood. Umpire let it roll. Flick down towards Jordan. Massive ball to win. Jordan goes hard. Gave it up to Jordan. Best kick in the game. He's going to get it back, maybe. Looping handball longer. Hayward to Heaney. Slap down. Jordan. Sidestep. Floater. And gathering nicely is Stocker in the hole. Almost as if the kick was meant for him.
A couple of really important trade-ups there. Cal Wilkie and young Taru came up to impact.
McInerney fills the hole. And then back to where it came from. Stocker goes the fist. It's still in play and then eventually walked out by Steele. And a throw in with 4 minutes to go.
The kicker side, Liam Stock has done some really good things.
Yeah,
Some really brave things as well at critical times.
Been a good pick-up by the Saints. Stephen Silvani liked him so much, he's recruited him twice. The Carlton Anderson killed it. Row bottom, caught, lift doors, shut on him very quickly. This 4 points is huge for the Swans, but for the Saints, you feel like it's worth so much more playing for pride. Can the master coach, Ross Lyon, do it again? Grundy with the palm down. Heaney! No! The goal! Golden on the run with the shot and goal to call the goal.
Well, that was just a brilliant combination. Ronnie Grundy needs as much
Masterclass.
wrap up as anybody. That was just one of the best hit-outs to advantage we've seen for the year, given the set of circumstances. It's a clip to a left footer on his left foot into space. They'll look at this if they lose this match, StKilda, and say, we had to acknowledge that this kid was going onto his left foot and block him. And they left the door open, and the Swans hit the front.
Harris full of riches there for Grundy to tap it to either Heaney, one end, Gordon the other.
Yeah, Sinclair just got caught on the wrong leg. Just plain and simple what it is. So the Swans have gone to full lockdown mode here. They'll try and shut this down.
So the Swans by 5, less than 4 to play, in front of just under 30,000 at Marvel Stadium, and it's a free kick in the middle, and it's going to Grundy.
Back-to-back centre bounce infringements, 666.
So Grundy, kick inside 50 to Heaney. Oh, they collide. Clean went in hard as well. McInerney blazing away, ricocheting football. McRae, Stocker, Hill, they're all there. And then Garcia eventually throws it on the boot. Sharman had to be good there, was the meat in the sandwich. Came to Warner, gathered, took on Wanganeen Miller, had it for a fair while. He was like a bull in a china shop, but in the end, it was cut up by Wood.
There you go, out wide. 3 minutes in counting.
Got one forward, StKilda. He's empty. Gee, they needed to top that one there because who was
See
it?
what Holmes was trying to do, wasn't he? Trying to soccer it out. He could see the spare. It was Marshall.
Yeah. Interesting kick from Chad Warner going to the top.
Heaney in the middle of it again.
So you can see so many numbers around this contest. If StKilda start to roll forward, so holes at this contest as a forward, get forward. You want less numbers around, make it easier to get out.
5 point margin. A goal, and the Saints are back in front. They can't clear it.
Well, the Swans
seconds tick down.
Swans have got their skipper as the last man in defence, but it's left the Saints with a spare man on the wing in Bradley Hill. He's not one you want free at that far away from goal. Now he comes up to pick him up.
This is the game you play now. They may roll a number behind the ball again, so you continue to roll forward, but roll out of your stoppage too. You maybe take a risk and just sneak forward here.
Wanganeen Miller and Rowbottom scrap with Steele, and another ball up.
So now it's Hayward and Stocker that are pushing forward as well. So
Grundy goes himself out towards McInerney and Wood. Wood won the football for Sinclair there. Wanganeen Miller had set up for him. Tried to go for a run and then backtrack. Was offline for Wood. McInerney goes in. And got himself. No, it's a free kick to StKilda Wood.
I think it was there, the free kick.
So Wood plays on, but kicked it straight to Golden.
Yeah, McInerney just had a blind lunge. You can't do that and have somebody have to jump out of the way because you're going down below the loose.
Gordon heads wide. Wood gets back. Contest is deemed to be an arm chop. One is free.
plenty of time here though. The signs will start to go up as they do now, just to show how long there is to go. 2 minutes is a lot in footy, so the Swans can't go to full shutdown mode here. The Saints, though, it is full risk.
Sits it up. Caminiti got there late with the fist. Marshall the crumb. Handballs inside. Couldn't get it to Wanganeen Malera. McLean with a little tap. Hasty right with him. Heaney kept it alive, maybe to his detriment. Windhager handballs it out wide to McRae. They're out here. Can they get one from this? Sinclair feeds it to Wood. A goal, they're in the lead. Heads toward half forward. Stocker flicks it back. Couldn't find a teammate with it. Stays in play. Sidestep from Wood. Opens it up. Heath got up there. Hayward back in the hole. Huge grab with a minute to go.
Well, you wonder what Isaac Heaney was thinking, keeping the ball in play. This man here's the second player that's rolled back for the Swans. Big impact.
Hayward in the Grundy direction. Heaney waits at the back, off hands and out.
But Brody Grundy's been dominant in the ruck tonight, and there's one-on-ones. These are the ones that you just grab out of the ruck and just keep it in tight. While Marshall has to fight to try and get it out into open space to give the Saints a chance.
Grundy and Marshall go at it. McInerney and Hasty. They try and tap it to their advantage. Heaney back to Wood. Hasty dodging, weaving, holds onto it, takes on his man, got the kick away, looking for Wanganeen Miller but a saving grab.
You're pretty stiff when you're trying to break away and all of a sudden you got road bottom between you and where you want to go.
Got to call him play on soon though.
Wide ball, seconds tick, 30 left. Out of play, so time enough for the big steal. Saints fans here at Marvel on the edge of their seats.
Clear it out for Wanganeen Miller. Come bursting through the stoppage. Best player, get forward everyone else.
Nothing Ross Lyon can do now. Can't pull anything from a big bag of tricks to try and steal this one back. Warner wobbles it wide, getting back. Wilkie can't mark it. More seconds tick down. One-on-one. Hasty got there. Shrugged the tackle. Gave to Wilkie. Maybe is there time enough for the finish to beat all finishers? McRae. It is a mark inside 50. It needs the kick to go long. Where's the Moose? He's under at the Moose. And from the siren, it's over. The Swans season has life, but only just.
It's a brutal game sometimes. But it's a beautiful game sometimes as well. The Swans, that small glimmer of September is still there. StKilda, they've dominated the game for the majority of the night tonight. They come away with no points, unfortunately. That man there in season number 1 as a senior coach. Those troops are starting to get rolling in the back part of the season. What a fantastic game of footy. Sarah Jones has got one of the Swan stars with her.
Isaac Heaney, what a match, what a performance, what a finish. How are you feeling?
Yeah, exhausted. It was a hard-fought game. They beat us here on the contest. They bullied us in the tackling early, and we couldn't stick our tackles. And then it was a bit patchy for our liking, but they're a good side up and about. They moved the ball really well, and it was good that we could get that arm wrestle and fight back and hold it.
Pressure was really low early. Was that a focus from the coach?
Yeah, missed tackles. I think we won about 40%. So that was definitely one. A bit of a hit between the eyes with our transitional running as well. So they definitely stepped up in the second half. I felt like we ran the game out a bit better than they did, but we probably let them move the ball a bit too easily.
So technically your season's still alive. I mean, a lot would have to go right for you to feature in September. What's the mindset surrounding that?
No, we take it week by week, and we're going to make sure we keep ticking them off. So we'll only look into the week coming, and the spirit's still high, and we feel like we're playing some pretty good footy at the moment. So we'll keep fighting all the way to the end.
Talk to us about Brody Grundy and the season he's having. He was remarkable again today.
Yeah, it's incredible what he's doing. Taking a big load on with pretty much the sole ruck. Sorry, sweating over it. Unbelievable. Gives us first use in the middle, and his skills are really good. He does try to take one in the corridor every now and then, which is pretty funny. He turns it over, but what he's doing at the moment is unbelievable. He's massive for us.
Will Hayward was huge today. Scoreboard and then drifting back into defence. He's not the biggest name in the side, but so important. What did he provide the team today with?
Oh, he's going to get the role done every week. His effort is incredible, and his fight's unbelievable. So when he can hit the scoreboard, but also sort of do a bit of a defensive role on Wilkie at times as well. So when he's up and about, he's a great player.
Well done on a great performance today.
Thank you. Tough.
So the Swans, North Melbourne next week at the SCG. Talked about it last week, if they can win 8 in a row to finish the season. They'll end up, you would think, playing finals with the 14 wins that it will require this year, we think, to play finals. 13 made it last year. And here is the golden goal again off this ruck contest.
All right, there we go, folks. What a ring-a-ding-ding cracking finish there. It was the Sydney Swans 14-8-92 defeating the Saints 13-9-87. Sydney Swans doing the job. Five goals won the Swans kicked in that final term. 2 goals won the Saints. The Saints had their chances. They got it down their forward 50. Just couldn't deliver their ball to their forwards and get that final one. But I tell you what, it was a cracking game. It was a cracking game. Absolutely. That is 100% for sure. That's what you love. A close finish. The Swans by 5 points. Let's just have a quick wrap up of the goal scorers and the leading disposal getters, because we want to get over to Port Adelaide West Coast game. Jake Lloyd, Will Hayward, 3 goals there for the Swans. Jack Butler with 2. Sheldrick, Rowbottom, McLean, Jordan, Heaney, and Goulden got 1 for the Saints. Max Hall best with 3. Sharman Owens, Buller with 2. Steele, Sinclair, Marshall, Heath, Garcia, Boxall, single goal scorers there. Leading disposal getter, Marcus Winhager, 36 touches, fantastic. 5 clearances there for the Saints. He had a cracking game with Jack Steele, 25. Who was the best for Sydney? Well, it was, of course, Errol Goulden with 23. Nick Blakey, the Lizard, 23. Isaac Heaney had a good last term, 21 touches. Chad Warner lifted 21 in the end too. Brodie Grundy, absolute superstar, 20 touches, 46 hit-outs, 7 clearances. Well done, Brode. I tell you what, he's really found his feet going up to Sydney. Such a big asset for them up there. All right, there we go. We're just about running through all the player stats there. There we go. That's about all for the player stats. Let's quickly have a look at the team stats, just in case you want to have a peekaboo at that. It was plus 40 to Sydney to St Kilda, plus 40 to St Kilda in the disposals overall. Whew, I tell you what a pressure last quarter. That was like a final. Geelong sucks 1-2-3. It was like a final in that final quarter there. 56 inside 50s to the Saints, 48 to the Swans, yet the Swans got it done. A little bit more efficient going inside forward, 50. There we go. Free kicks, to tell you what, there was plenty of them today. But the umpires in the final few minutes put the whistle away. That was great to see. 27-30 in the free kick count. Swans were plus 3. The hit-out, Swans dominated there. Thanks to Broads. There we go. 29 plus in the hit-outs. Clearance is pretty tidy. Just plus 1 to Sydney, and that was in the centre clearances. Contested possession, pretty contested game today. Plus 11 to the Saints. Plus 19 in uncontested to the Saints as well. Saints won a fair few of the departments, just except the win of the game. There we go. Plus 10 to the marks. Marks inside 50 though. The Swans did that a little bit better, 14-9. So well done there. And looking at the tackle count, the tackles certainly did lift in that second half, didn't they? 73-67, 20-10. So the Saints actually did pretty well there. All right, we are going to, let's just have a look at the ladder if that's live now. And of course, that'll see the Sydney Swans up to 32 points. There we go, 3 games outside of the top 8. Well done. Keep their hopes alive. All right, we'll just listen to the theme song if they're quick, because we want to head over to the Port Adelaide West Coast game in just a moment. I'll take you down to the rooms while they sing the song, and then we'll end and head over to the next one.
Victory.